everybody. This is Jess Washington with the Dallas Weekly here, and I'm here speaking with attorney Bridgette Williams of BLW Legal Group. So sorry, I was stuttering on that. Brain is still a little frosty today. But yeah, we are here with another episode of Legal Talks, where we come to you every single week with things that have gone on either locally here in the DFW or across the nation. This particular week, we're going to go a little bit back because I know it's been a little while since we've been talking to you guys, but we actually had these questions come in and we want to make sure that we address them. So Bridgette, just want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us again this week. And I want to jump right into it. So we'll be sure to show a clip of this, but I wanted to note a video that went viral showing 3 police officers who were using very heavy force to restrain and arrest what looks like a white man. I'm still ruling out exactly his race. The video is based in Indiana. From the video, you could see that people were like, a lot of people were recording the video and they were condemning and yelling at the cops, you know, saying for them to stop. And the police officers actually saw that they were being recorded and were telling the people to F off and like go away. I wanted to ask you about this, and I'm glad we get to talk about it because I remember specifically back in 2020 during all the social unrest that you offered your services to people who, you know, may have been what they believe to be police brutalized during like protests and things like that. So many times we see that people will pull out their phones instead of actually doing something to help the situation legally, and to either protect themselves or protect the potential victim. So I wanted to ask you, Bridgette, what would you advise somebody to do who is witnessing not just police brutality, but like any type of violence of that nature?
Okay. Yeah. So the first thing is that the American Civil Liberties Union has stated that taking photos or videos of police brutality or police acting in their capacity is a constitutional right. We have the ability to do that with no issues, as long as it's in plain view, right? So plain view would just be, you know, on the street, right? Wherever we are, something in public, plain view. So we have that ability to do that. However, certain states have banned individuals from filming police officers. Now, they claim that this is because it can interfere with the police officers' duties, right? Texas is not one of those states. There are 38 states right now that allow citizens to film police. So that means that there are still some states that do not allow that. So there are a couple of things that if you are in a state that does allow it, so there are a couple of things that I would say would be a good thing to remember. So you are able to film police officers in Texas, right? So you could take your phone out. I would first recommend that you remain at a safe distance away from the officers, right? So make sure you are not anywhere close to them that it can interfere with their job duties. So that's number one. Number two, keep it close to your person, right? Keep it close to your body, not necessarily out, because if you're holding it out, then an officer again can say, well, you're interfering with our duties, you're interfering with us, and then they can try to confiscate that from you. And you don't want that to happen either, right? So try to keep it close to your person and while you're filming. Number three would be to try to narrate what's going on. So we can, if you're filming something, if it's, you know, you're at a distance from it, you may not be able to see all of the details of what's going on. So try to narrate a little bit about what's going on. If you can see what the officer's badge number is and what it says on there, say that badge number, right? If you can say, or if you can see what street this is on, put that there, you know, say that as well. So try to say and narrate what it is that you are seeing, and that'll be helpful. And then the next thing is that once that has completed, I know a lot of times people will go straight to social media, right? But I would recommend that those victims in those particular cases, their families or that individual, they're going to have a lawyer. They're going to get a civil rights attorney. That information would be great to be given to the civil rights attorney. So that way, you know, they'll know how to handle going about with that video and how it can be best used for that individual. So I would recommend talking with that civil rights attorney and trying to get it over to them. And if they feel like, okay, well, this would be best used in a press conference, then let's do that. This may be best used, to circumvent whatever it is that they're saying, but at a later time happened, right? So going straight to social media may not always be the best line of action. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But talking with the civil rights attorney that is for that person would probably be the most ideal thing.
Cool. And then you mentioned that there are some states, like the state of Texas allows us to pull out our phones and follow the rules and record. Do you have any advice for somebody in a state that doesn't allow it? What are your options then?
Well, honestly, if you don't have, the ability to film anything in a state that doesn't allow it, then you would just be going off of your memory, right? Because you're just watching it. Because nothing that you record, even if you were trying to do it secretly, would be able to be used because you're not supposed to be recording them. So it's just going off of your memory. And I would try to write those things down that you do recall. If you see any other people there that may be witnesses, other people who are going to be agreeing with what it is that you are saying, try to get their information, right? So more witnesses, the better. So more people that are saying what it is that I'm saying, the better.
Right. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Whew, that's a lot. And then I'm sure that unfortunately we probably will bring this up again. Police brutality video clips keep popping up, over and over and over again. And I just think that maybe somebody doesn't know the proper thing to do, because like you said, it does immediately go to social media. I can speak as a publication, a very small publication. We get tagged in things that we're like, just so everybody that's watching knows, we're not the police. So, there's certain even laws that we have to abide by as a publication to make sure that we're not breaking any laws or interfering with any cases when people send us information like that. So I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, that's why that's why, again, those individuals, generally about 99% of the time, they're going to have a civil rights attorney. Or their family has hired somebody. And so, getting in contact with them, they would probably be the best person to know exactly what to do with that information.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And my follow-up question would be, speaking on actually related to this week's feature article in the Dallas Weekly. It's about I'm sure people have seen the ongoing water pollution issues going on in Jackson, Mississippi, and water shortages for the residents. I do know that there's so many things that people just are screaming for answers. I'm always about civic knowledge. So this is something I'm going to ask you for from a legal standpoint. As do residents have any options to sue their political leaders, if you will, for negligence of the situation? Because we pay our taxes for people to oversee departments like the water department. You know what I mean? Is there any legal recourse that residents have, and instead of just idly sitting by and taking it?
It's a convoluted question. In general, let's just say in the big scope of things, the answer is no. In general, bringing a case against the government is not just like any other personal injury case. The government has different things of what we call immunity, sovereign immunity, where pretty much they are saying we cannot be sued in our own courts unless we give permission to be sued in our courts, right? So unless there is legislative consent for the government to be sued on this particular topic, the answer is no. So in Mississippi, those individuals would need to speak with a civil attorney that can let them know, is this something that falls under the realm of the legal consent in which the government can be sued? In Texas, we have the Texas Tort Claims, which pretty much gives a list of ways and reasons in which the government can be sued, right? It's very specific things in which you can sue the government. And even when you can sue the government, there are even stricter rules that apply, more so than in a personal injury case. So the deadlines come up faster. There's more notice that has to be done, right? So it's there are other rules that may apply whenever it's you have the permission or consent to sue the government. But it's only when they have given a specific time that they can be sued under these specific rules. Otherwise, the answer is no.
And I'm sure you always tell me, I feel like you're always griping me. You're like, it's a state by state issue, Jess, because I can think of like other states that had water pollution issues. But if it's not water pollution, it could be some other type of issue where the residents are not in control of what's affecting them. And it's a government, paid type of department or facility that should be overseeing and ensuring, that everything's okay. So that's frustrating just from as a constituent.
Yeah, I mean, just as like you just said, we pay our taxes, we do, all these other things, and this is what we should be able to be inclined. However, it's just that sovereign immunity is across. That's just the overall general rule, right? The answer is no, we cannot sue the government in their own courts, right? And unless they give us permission in these specific instances. In general, that's going to be like, let's say, something that was intentionally done, right? So intentional towards,
right?
Or let's see, I think I made a note about another situation. Injuries caused by state employees' negligence, and it has to be, again, employees' negligence on specific topics. So it has to be something specific that is outlined, like in the Texas Tort Claims Act. It has to be those specific actual topics. And if it's not there, then the answer is no.
Gotcha. Ooh, okay. Well, looks like that's why we're going to have a civics 101 seminar, I'm sure, one day.
Yes, I'm sure we will.
Well, I always appreciate your time, Bridgette, because, people, like I say this every week, people have questions, and I'm just glad that you can help provide, answers to our audience, especially considering this is what you do. So thank you for the free legal advice. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, you can either contact Dallas Weekly directed, or you can contact Bridgette. Check out her website. She's on every platform. She's amazing. So yes, attorney Bridgette Williams of BLW Legal Group. Thank you again for joining us this week, and I will see you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.